Hi guys, welcome back to the Wargamer and another bolt action painting tutorial. This time I'll be showing you how to tackle the Fallschirmjäger in an early war scheme, particularly those based around Crete in 1941, and I'll be using the Army Painter range of paints to do so. Now before we can begin painting our miniature, we first of all need to prime it, and for this I've used a grey spray primer. Now the reason why I've gone for grey is because it makes a lot of the colours that we'll be applying later on a lot easier to apply, but you could use any colour primer that you wish. After priming, the first area to paint is the jump smock, and for this I'm going to be starting off with a base coat of Army Green. Now as with all of the base coats I'll be using in this tutorial, I've created a mixture of 1 part paint to 1 part water. Applied this over the area, allowing it to dry thoroughly and then applying a second layer over the top. By doing this we get the best colour base coat possible without obscuring details by applying the paint too thickly. With the base coat dried, the next step is to apply a wash of military shader over the green areas. Now for this particular example, I've used a mixture of quick shade mixing medium along with the wash, roughly equal parts. If you don't have access to this, you could use water, but it won't quite be as subtle in its blending. With our wash of military shader dry, we can now start highlighting the raised sections of the fabric. Now for this I'm going to be using Necrotic Flesh, and I've created a mixture of 2 parts paint to 1 part water. This will improve the flow of the paint and make it a lot easier to pick up those raised sections. So using a small brush, just put a small amount of paint on the tip of that brush and lightly drag it over those raised sections. And this will really help to bring out the detailing in the miniature. The next area of our miniature that we'll be painting will be the trousers, and for this we want to use a base coat of field grey. The next step in painting the trousers is to apply a wash of dark tone ink. Now once again I've mixed in some quick shade mixing medium, and what this wash will do, it'll slightly darken down the colour of the trousers as well as flowing into the recesses and applying some shading as well. The final step in painting the trousers is to apply a highlight of Filthy Cape. The next area of our Fallschirmjäger that we'll be painting will be the ammo pouches and also some of the equipment that the Fallschirmjäger is wearing, as well as some of the straps on the helmet cover as well. Now we want to base coat all of these areas using Banshee Brown. With the base coat completed, we can now apply a wash of strong tone ink to these areas. This will again darken down the colour of these areas, as well as applying some shading as well. The final step in painting the tan coloured areas of this miniature is to apply a highlight of Drake Tooth. The next areas of our Fallschirmjäger that I'll be painting will be the hands and the face. Now for this, I'll be starting off with a base coat of tanned flesh. Now do be careful when painting these areas, as you don't want to overspill on some of the areas that we've already painted. In this next step, I'll be highlighting before I actually apply the wash. Now we're going to be applying a highlight of Kobold Skin to the various raised sections of the skin. This includes the fingers, the knuckles, the nose, cheekbones, lips, and also the chin as well. The final step in painting the skin is to apply some flesh wash over the areas. Now this will not only flow into the recesses and help to bring out the shading, it'll also help to blend in the base coat to the highlights that we applied in the last 2 steps. The next step in painting our Fallschirmjäger is to paint all the black areas using Necromancer Cloak. Now the reason I'm not using a black paint for these areas is because once we apply our wash, it'll really darken these areas down and give them the effect of black with highlights. Now the areas that you'll want to paint black include the boots, the belt, some of the various straps on the miniature itself, and also the weapon as well. So as I mentioned previously, we now want to apply a wash of dark tone ink over the areas we painted in the previous section. This will darken down the colour of these areas considerably, making them look a lot more black, but also gives the effect of highlighting on the raised sections. To finish off painting the black areas, I'll now be applying some very fine highlights of Spaceship Exterior. These small dots of light grey will give the effect that these areas are shiny and light is reflecting off them. The next areas of this miniature that I'll be tackling will be the brown areas. These include the water bottle and also the straps on the helmet as well. I'm base coating all of these areas using leather brown. Once the base coat of leather brown has dried, we can now apply a wash of strong tone ink to these areas. The final step in painting our Fallschirmjäger is to apply an edge highlight to the brown areas using Monster Brown. And here we have the completed Fallschirmjäger miniature, who you can see I've also based. In the description below you can find a full list of the paints that I've used in this tutorial, along with links to both my Facebook and Instagram pages. Now if you enjoyed this tutorial, please do let me know in the comments below, and also make sure you subscribe to be kept up to date with all of my future projects. Now I just want to finish off by saying a huge thank you to my Patreon supporters, because it's you guys who make these videos possible. Now if you're interested in supporting me on Patreon as well, you can do so by checking out the link in the description, and from there you can donate to me from as little as $1 a month, which will just really help me in producing future videos. So all that's left to say is thanks for watching, and goodbye.